Everybody's talking about Meta Andromeda like it's some magic black box that's just gonna figure it all out. But here's what nobody's saying. Andromeda has completely changed the lever that you pull to lower customer acquisition costs, and most people are still pulling the wrong lever. Hey, I'm Dakota. I run Ad Class. In the past 4 months, my agency has been managing more than 30 clients in the e-learning, high-ticket education space, and we have tested a lot of things when it comes to Meta Andromeda and what's working. And today, I'm going to give you the rundown because we have discovered a 3-step counterintuitive process to actually testing creatives, finding winners, and scaling them. And the secret is that it actually starts with static images, not videos. So here's how we're feeding Andromeda exactly what it wants so that we can scale. Now let's get one thing straight. Andromeda has completely changed how targeting works, because in the past, hyper selecting specific audiences, finding interests and lookalikes, and really segmenting your audiences was the way to succeed in meta ads. Targeting was king and media buyers felt like they were in control, but that's over, that's dead. Andromeda's ranking system now prioritizes creative quality over targeting precision. And you might be thinking, great, I'm just gonna make better ads then, better videos. And sure, that's part of the solution, but you're not quite there. Here's the part that sounds insane, but is actually crushing it. The spray and pray, sort of throw as many things against the wall and see what sticks thing that used to be dead and didn't work a while ago is back. But this is critical. It only works if you're aiming the thing in the right direction to start with. Because think about it this way, Meta Andromeda wants signals to learn. It wants as many signals as you can give it, as much data as it can possibly process to find you what you're looking for. And what most people are getting wrong is that they believe they need to feed it tons of video content, high tech, highly edited, different variations of ads that have already worked. But this is actually backward, because the secret weapon and what's working now is quite simple: static images, and they are back. I'm talking hundreds of static variations thrown into the ad account and seeing what sticks. This gives us rapid hypothesis testing, and it lets us understand what's going to resonate with our audience and what Andromeda wants to serve to our audience. Right away, we'll know, hey, this call out converts or this angle resonates. And here's why this really matters. Every dollar you spend actually creating video content and recording stuff and editing it and getting it into production is dollars wasted if that video never goes on to work. So we need to actually take the testing process, put it at the front, figure out what works first before we invest all of that money into video. We can literally validate an ad angle with copy and a static image with $50 or $200, and then we can turn it into a winning ad angle down the line. So this counterintuitive insight changes everything, that you should be testing static images up front to find the pockets that will later become your video ad winners. Static image testing is like the scout going out into the battlefield and seeing what's what, coming back and bringing reconnaissance back so that the video team, the meat and potatoes of what will scale, can actually know what force they're up against, right? And they can better prepare. So how can we actually implement this without it being incredibly complex or time consuming? Let's get into it. Okay, so for number one, the real goal here, step one of this situation, is we want tons of volume of image creative. So this could be a lot of different things, honestly, but what it's not is highly produced. So think Canva graphics, think amateur photography, think just putting things into the ad account that could or could not resonate quickly with your audience. One really easy thing that you can see a lot of people doing right now is literally just taking what might resonate as a hook on body copy and putting it as just an image call out with the text. So you might see someone literally just running an ad that just has text on it. So if you're running an ad on a course that helps people scale to, 7 figures, you might say something like, hey, are you feeling stuck at $10,000 a month? This might be for you. Now, this ad's going to fatigue rather quickly, but if it resonates, if you get the metrics you're looking for on it, you know that that's an angle that you could take and make a video creative out of. So each static should be speaking to a specific subset of your audience in a unique way. You're not really asking yourself, does this creative work? But rather, does this image specifically talk to the person I'm trying to talk to, and does it make them feel a specific thing right now? And the beauty of this is that from a media buying perspective, when you run these, it's all really, really simple. You just throw them into an Advantage Plus campaign and you let the algorithm, Andromeda, figure out who to serve it to. You can actually kind of go crazy with this, make as many variations as you possibly can, let it serve, turn things off when they're outside of KPI, reallocate the budget, and actually see what sticks. So then step two of this strategy, after you've already tested and you've started to get some data on these image ads, is how do we know what's working and what's not? And this is actually pretty simple if you have your KPIs set up. I talk a lot in these videos about setting KPIs, key performance indicators, optimizing your ad deep funnel, optimizing toward purchase or schedule or something important down funnel, not just clicks and traffic traffic and top of funnel stuff. And when you're doing that, the quickest way to understand whether or not these ads are going to work or not is by looking at your KPIs downstream. So the end all be all is customer acquisition cost, right? These statics, you'd be surprised, but they're actually going to generate volume of good leads, and you should actually get purchases from them. Downstream, you should see customer acquisition cost come in below average or average for the image callouts that are actually going to resonate with your audience. So that's number one. Look downstream, look at return on ad spend, look at customer acquisition costs. But if you're going to look for a simpler way and you don't have enough budget to test all of these creatives and see what's actually going to stick from a customer acquisition cost perspective, then start looking top of funnel. Look at click-through rate, CPMs, cost per click. Start to understand, does Meta like serving this creative? You'll be very surprised that the smallest tweaks can result in a huge change in click-through rate and CPMs just based on who Meta is serving that ad to. And that will give you a lot of insight into, does it like serving this ad to this person? Or is this an audience segment that's under competitive, right? That you can actually go to market with and get a better bang for your buck. All of this data is useful. And so you should really start to paint the picture when you're looking at the data of what should I make more of. A quick and easy way to sort your table view and just look at what's winning and what's not is basically sort by things that have over $50 in spend and then sort them by cost per click descending. And the stuff that has a really high cost per click that has spent $50 or more, probably stuff that's not going to scale well. Trim those out. Just kind of filter down until you're confident that the things that are spending are actually going to produce revenue for your business. And that brings us to step 3. Once you know what's working from a static call out perspective, now it's time to start building this into a video creative pipeline, because we all know that video is king. I'm not trying to refute the fact that to scale an ad account, you need video. You definitely need video. However, you can prove it all out with statics and then translate those wins into video content. Use the market data that you've already paid for to make better video. A quick and easy way to do this is to make the first 3 seconds of your video perfectly match the callouts that resonated best in your image callout ads. So if stuck at 10K a month resonated in your image ads, you should definitely use that as a hook in your video ads, or even as a banner or something that goes on the top of the video that calls people out on the video content as well. Andromeda already did the work for you to show you that this works, so don't reinvent the wheel. Implement it into your video content. Because Andromeda likes creative diversity, what I would do is record multiple angle variations in different settings with different outfits, just different styles entirely. Studio setup, iPhone setup, right? Use these hooks and angles over and over again until you find the exact combination of factors that resonates with your audience, and then use that as a framework to make more variations of that creative. But none of this works without the proper technical setup. So I want to be very clear that the first step to making sure Andromeda works for you in your business is understanding that conversion API and proper data needs to be sent back to the ad platform so it knows what success is. I mentioned earlier not to optimize for traffic or engagement or anything like that top of funnel. You want to optimize for things that you actually want. So if it's booked calls on your calendar or purchases, you have to make sure you're sending those back from your platform, whether that's your CRM or your website or whatever, server side, back to the ad account. You have to set that up. If you don't know how to do that, go to ChatGPT and ask it. I'm sure it can walk you through, but that is the first step, because you need accurate data in the ad platform in order for Andromeda to find you the people that you're actually trying to find. So here's your takeaway. Static image testing is the fastest way to find out what's going to resonate with your audience in the new ads ecosystem with Andromeda. It's actually simpler than most people are making it, but it does require a lot more creative variations. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Would love to see your comments below. If you have questions, I'd love to answer them, and stay tuned, subscribe. We're going to be making more of these. Peace.